You're listening to the Faeries and Folklore podcast by Ronel. I'm dark fantasy author Ronel Janse van Vuuren. With nearly a decade of digging around in dusty folklore books, researching creatures of imagination that ignited my curiosity, I'm here to share the folklore in a nutshell and how I reimagined it for my writing in An Origin of the Fae. This is the Faeries and Folklore podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Ronel Janse van Vuuren. You can just call me Ronel. In today's episode, we're continuing our exploration of the Fae realm. This episode is brought to you by my book, Once, Tales, Myths and Legends of Faerie, available in ebook, paperback and audiobook. Go to ronelthemythmaker.com/my-books for more. We are continuing our exploration of the Fae realm. Today's subject, necromancy. Folklore in a nutshell by Ronel. Magic involving the summoning or raising of the dead is called necromancy. Sometimes it is used to refer to black magic or witchcraft, but it is a form of magic all its own. It is sometimes called death magic, as it relates to the dead. It is used to communicate with the dead to learn the future, discover hidden knowledge, bring the dead to life, or to use the dead as a weapon. Necromancy was prevalent in the ancient world. Even Odysseus had help from Circe to raise the shades of the dead to find the knowledge he needed. It survived centuries. During the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci was accused of necromancy because he used corpses for his anatomical studies. The Pope forced him to give up his research. And in modern times, seances are held whenever someone wants to know something from a dead person. Whether it is eating corpses and surrounding oneself with things representing the dead, or just fooling around with candles, talking to the dead can only lead to madness, despair, and death. And now for my interpretation of the Fae, in An Origin of the Fae, necromancy. Dark magic concerned with raising the dead, calling upon spirits to do the bidding of the necromancer, and all around bad, unnatural magic. Anko, king of the dead, isn't fond of necromancers, though he tolerates and even humors them on occasion. Carnelian is a powerful stone for them to draw their powers from. They also use solar eclipses and other astral events to power their magic. As a little bonus, let's look at the translation of necromancer into Afrikaans, necromancer. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Faeries and Folklore podcast and that you've learned something new about Faerie. Remember that you can get a transcript of this episode in the description. If you're new to the podcast, why not go and grab your free copy of Unseen, the second book in the fairy tale series, on my website, ronelthemythmaker.com. Loads of folklore, magic, and danger await. Take care.